I'm live. I'm about to interview Vice President Joe Biden for this nation, and I got my. So Joe Biden is about to be on the show. So I'm in my office waiting on the Vice President to pull up. Let me know when y'all ready. 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Okay.
All right, see you there.
Is he on the way?
He should be here. We're expecting him between 11 and 11:15.
Do we have to do anything with Secret Service?
No.
Okay.
I heard there's no Secret Service coming, which is a surprise to me.
Right, that's what the other.
But he used to ride the Amtrak to work every day, so I'm not.
But I thought they did something. I know they had did something to clear the building or something.
They definitely came and cleared it. Definitely.
Okay.
But we don't. I'm sorry.
Beyonce also said that when we were talking about car service with him, that he said something about he was just gonna ride in his fridge truck or something.
Yeah, he's very like.
Yeah, he's like that.
I know, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like one amongst the people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Let me know if you need anything, boss.
All right, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to just go into the lobby now?
I mean, if you want to, but they don't need you in studio until 10 minutes.
Okay.
So
They need to clean up. They need to Clorox wipe that table down in there.
they're doing everything now, and what I even did, Ricky, just to make it look, the monitor in the back, I had to change to a presidential monitor, like graphic on it. You know, just little things like that.
I vacuumed it this morning.
You vacuumed it?
Yeah, and they need to spray. Tell them to spray the lights off.
You want me to tell them?
Yeah, here. Because I'm not sure. A lot of people use that studio.
Okay.
Yeah, give them that lights off. Tell them to hit it. Tell them to spray it real good before you can't have the vice president show up in your studio stink.
Do you have anything else you need? Maybe we should have some water there for him too as well.
Yeah, have a bottle of water there for him and one for me.
I'll take 2 of these.
Oh, it's already up there? Okay.
Amazing.
There's 6 bottles of water up there.
Okay.
Okay.
For him
If
and
we need
us.
more, we can add more, but there's 6.
Okay, I don't know how big his.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Just 2.
Okay, just
Yeah.
2.
I'm about to interview,
Do you want me to do your video?
Vice, huh?
You want me to do your video for you? Okay.
Questions, thank you. About to interview Vice President Joe Biden. He's about to pull up in a minute. He said he's in his friend's truck. That's crazy. You see, I'm looking at him. I'm just waiting for him to pull up. So, all right, here we go. I'm gonna try to be on live when he get out the elevator. Hey, are they gonna let us, when he get out the elevator, would it be okay? Or,
I don't know.
like maybe you take my phone and film me greeting him?
Phone and film and greet.
Okay, all right, I'll be back. Getting ready to interview the Vice President, former Vice President, 47th Vice VP of the United States of America, Joe Biden. So, waiting on him to pull up. And
Your mic fell.
Yeah, stand by.
I'll try. I don't know how high quality it is or anything.
I got you. But right where it is.
I feel like that too.
It's always gonna have to raise it up. Yeah, raise up. I'm saying don't move it to the left or right. You can raise it up. But I was be careful of moving it to the left or to the right. He's just 6 feet?
Show me.
got to make sure that walk-in ad don't stink.
And his birthday was yesterday.
President Biden? VP Biden? Yeah. And to make sure that walk-in ad don't stink. When you walk in a room, the first thing people remember is how it smells.
Yes.
And it stick with them. Or the walk-in air and your walk-by air cannot stink. Somebody come to your house or come to your space, every time he associate Rickey Smiley, you would never associate with Rickey Smiley with stink or funk or house or anything else. Associate with me with that room was clean. It's Lysol, Clorox white Did we Clorox? What's that right there? What is that?
What?
That stain right there.
No. We should
That's
be wiping
streaks?
that down. We did wipe down.
Make sure everything is Clorox white. Everything smell good.
Ricky, you good?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
All right, awesome. Okay.
You ain't got to get ready if you stay ready.
Bye.
Ricky, just remember to kind of cheat the camera, stay open, inshallah.
Cheat these nuts.
How you gonna be looking presidential, but those words are coming out your mouth?
Damn right.
You right?
They don't match.
Damn, they do match. I can still be sharp and say, these motherfucking nuts.
They're real.
It is Dish Nation, right?
Yeah.
These nuts. Thank you. Just really rude. I vacuumed back there. It was so nasty back there.
Listen.
Let
me
tell you something.
People that be coming after
When we
you,
did the first break, I looked on the floor. I was so disgusted. I stopped. I just took my headphones off. I got that vacuum cleaner and vacuumed this entire studio and Clorox wiped everything down. I'm not going to sit down and do nobody's radio in a nasty studio.
8 minutes.
And I don't know how they said they'll be here in 8 minutes. I don't see how people live like that and can just work with shit on the floor and lint and trash. I just wasn't raised that way. And that is not OCD. Ain't nobody gonna flip it and say he OCD. No, I'm not OCD. Motherfucker, you nasty. How about that? How about I got good home training? Yeah, you ain't gonna OCD me and lock me in a box. There's something wrong with him because he don't like trash on the floor. The whole floor is clean. I need to get some carpet cleaner though. Just so I can spray on the floor to deodorize the carpet. It's the carpet.
Right now?
No, I don't need it right now. But I want somebody to get some and just sit it right there. And this is stuff that you spray down and then we'll vacuum it up because the carpet stink. See, look at this area right here on the floor over here. Do we have time to hit this right here? Look at this shit. This shit look bad. Look at this. See that?
Yeah. Framed properly. Yeah, Trevor, the only concern I was saying about when Sylvia readjusted and make sure just trying to see right here. If this is the furthest we can get it out. So
Look at all of this. All right, we got 8 minutes. Sorry about that. Thank you, Starter.
What's the outlet?
It's an outlet right here.
or Beyonce.
Yeah, right here.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Look. There you go. I got you.
You just said 8 minutes and that was 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we hit that. Especially in that corner. What up, Vaughn? All right, that. Perfect. Thank you, Starter. Excuse me. All right, cool. That's good. All right.
Where are you live right now?
Huh?
Where are you live?
Oh, just on my personal little Facebook.
Alright, so we got this. Gotcha.
Hey, John Woods, what's up, man? What's up, John Woods? What, we 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Walk in, air.
Okay, yeah, you gotta be a little bit stronger, Ricky. Come
What did you smell when you walk in? Go back out.
It's faint.
Yeah, go back out.
Like anything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, go back out and come back in. All right, come back in. Come on.
It smells like babies.
Yeah. What do you smell?
Now I smell it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's that good smell.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit it when he get ready to come. Hit this bitch one more time. Can't have the walk-in air always it change your mood. When you walk in a room and it stink, you be in a bad mood and you be uncomfortable. When you walk in a room and it smell good, you automatically it's a mental thing. So
Rickey on the day.
what?
This is gonna be your camera.
Okay.
So I'll have the prompt right here for you.
Okay.
I'm so impressed that you know how to use Cash App.
Oh, I've been using the Cash App since day one. Hell yeah, my kids force you on that, but they be needing money for college, for food.
Dad, Cash App me.
Dad, Cash App. I'm like, okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we do have permission to go live?
I have not been told any restrictions in regards to that.
Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go.
All right, just let me know.
Hey, going through the same thing. Y'all know nothing about that. Here we go again. Here we. Hey, hey. Who? Oh.
I just rolled up to say hi.
Boy, this thing right here so fine, boy. What the hell is going on?
I rolled up to say hi to you.
What's up? You need extra wheels on that for all that boot, all that junk in the trunk. What happened?
I had foot surgery. Yep, I had foot surgery, and so they broke 3 of my toes. So I can't put too much pressure on this foot.
Hold on, let me get off of here.
Well, I won't be able to take a picture of my toes.
Here we go.
You're in the elevator. Let's do it.
Oh, well, hello. Hey. This is the Vice President. Vice President Biden, this is Rickey Smiley. Sir, this is also.
Hello. Hi, nice to meet you.
I know. How are you?
What you doing?
You know. This is my man.
Oh, you're kind to say that.
This is my man. How are you? How are you doing?
Come on around.
Oh my goodness.
Come on around.
I said, it's a good thing I put a time in, man.
May I take a picture with you?
Of course you do.
I will move my scooter out your way.
Are you ready? There you go.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. Good luck.
I'm doing good. Yes, sir. And I'm sorry about the boss. Yes, sir. I feel so bad. Yes, sir. Come on in.
That's where I'm having following you, man.
All right, come on. we're about to have some fun.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Vice President Joe Biden.
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm Tanya, nice to
Hey,
meet you,
Tanya,
sir.
how are you?
Thank
Michael,
you for
nice to
coming.
meet
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Very well.
Hello.
Hi, Jan, how are you?
Hi, Casey. Hey, best friend. Thank you so much. We did it.
Thank you, finally.
I know. Yes, thank you. We have probably about 2 more seats. That's a nice nickname.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
Yes,
Where do you want me to sit?
You're gonna sit right. I'm checking out the suit now. Let's see what we're doing here. Let's see.
I got a leg blue like that. I like better. Right. They want me wearing this darker stuff. And I don't like the darker stuff.
Right.
All right.
Can you get it? All right. Here you go.
I'm ready to go, man.
Okay.
We're gonna
You
have
know, we're gonna do about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Don't make me touch you up.
Can we get over there, like,
So I know you don't play. All right, everybody, welcome back to Dish Nation, and I am so excited about this. Our in-studio guest has served as the 47th Vice President of the United States of America, and he was everybody's favorite uncle-in-chief, and who is now running for Commander-in-Chief. Let's give a big round of applause, Democratic presidential candidate Joseph R. Biden.
How are you, man?
How
Mr. President, good to see you.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I'm running for, want to be on the ticket with you.
I tell you, you look good, man. You look good. I think you can play any position in my administration.
Yes, sir. I would represent. So we are so excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here.
And watched the debate last night. Good job.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So I got a few questions. We're gonna do the serious
Fire away,
ones,
man.
and then we're gonna do the fun ones. We're gonna have a good time.
All right.
So we're just not gonna be serious because this is a hip hop radio show and Dish Nation. All right. So the minorities in the United States are facing a lot of discrimination with everything that's going on in this climate. How do you intend on making sure that minorities receive equal opportunities, equal rights in the justice system, and protections from discrimination?
Well, first of all, look, this is the most racist president we've had in I think ever. Number one. Number two, the way he's gone out and coddled white supremacists, and I mean, he's hate doesn't go away; it just hides, and he's giving it oxygen. When you saw those folks coming out of the fields down in Virginia and Charlottesville, their veins bulging, screeching hate, accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. And, this guy, when a young woman was killed, the president says, they asked him to comment. He said, well, good people on both sides.
Yeah.
No one's ever said anything like that as President of the United States.
Right.
And so the reason I'm running, Rickey, and for real, is to restore the soul of America. And what's happening now is that the way in which African Americans are treated has not improved since we left office. It's just gotten worse. And so I would make sure, number one, the right to vote, we would have an incredible enforcement effort to make sure that those states, and there have been 36 of them, have tried to pass laws to make it more difficult for folks to vote, particularly African Americans, that they, in fact, are taken to court, and we beat them. That's what we did in our administration.
Right.
In addition to that, we have to make sure that we provide educational opportunity for folks. Look, last night I said I got criticized saying I come out of the black community. What I did, that's where I got my political education. And HBCUs are incredibly, incredibly important. We're not investing nearly enough money in them. And so I propose we invest $70 billion in HBCUs because it is the core of what, in fact, is going to be the future of the country.
Right.
And they don't have those great endowments. And in addition to that, when Barack and I were president and vice president, we made sure that these HBCUs got organizational structures that were allowed to do research. All these big universities, they compete for funding to work on cyber research, to work on a whole range of things. Well, we've got to bring the HBCUs into that mix. And we have to reform the criminal justice system. I mean, look, right now, no one should be going to jail for drug use. I wrote in the law that there be drug courts. They should be diverted into drug courts, not into prisons, and they should go to rehabilitation. There's just a whole range of things. It's a broad question, but I think voting rights, number one, reforming the criminal justice system, number two, to make it one that, for example, up until Brock and I came along, you get let out of prison after serving your time, you get a bus ticket and $25. You end up under the bridge.
Right.
And we should make sure that every person who served their time comes out and they qualify for Pell Grants. They qualify for housing. They qualify for every single program out there because they want to be citizens who, in fact, have a shot. Right. But sending folks back to where they were with no background and no training in terms of what could take place in prison is just a big mistake. I know I'm going on here, but there's a lot of things that we can do that are in our wheelhouse.
So, in your eyes, what is the most critical issue in the United States that we're facing today? Most critical issue.
I think the most critical issue is climate change, because if we don't start to deal with it, we're in real trouble. Not just this generation, but future generations. And so that's the most critical. But in terms of the soul of the country, the most critical thing is that we begin to treat people in a way that we're designed. Look, we're unique in the world. We've never fully lived up to this, but, we hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women are created equal, or in order to form a more perfect union. We've never lived up to it, but we've never walked away from it before. And we've always widened the arc of inclusion. And this guy has shut it down. This guy has walked away. And it is critically important, not only for treating people decently at home, but it affects our international standing. The rest of the world looks at us and goes, what in God's name is going on with the United States of America?
Yeah.
And so I think one is more of a total attitude change, and the other one is working specifically to deal with things that can produce not only climate change or stop climate change and produce real change, creating millions of new jobs and millions of jobs, not at $15 an hour, but at $45 an hour.
Right.
And we should focus on those neighborhoods which are the most damaged by climate change. Because, if you live in a bad neighborhood, you're likely to be near the refinery. You're likely to be where the water's bad. You're likely to be, because everything gets piled on to people who already have a problem.
Right.
And I think we can change a lot of things that way.
So this time of year is where everybody start to enroll in health care. Why do you feel like, we have, what do you feel like we are on health care, and what are your plans?
Well, number one of my proudest moments as vice president was standing with Barack, the president. I say Barack only because he's a friend, but only because I don't want to confuse him with this president. But with President Obama, when he signed the Affordable Care Act. And the fact is that it made a gigantic difference in the lives of all Americans, particularly African Americans. And we should build on that. And what we should do is, I propose building on Obamacare. I'm against anybody who wants to tear it down. Adding to it what we call a public option, meaning that you could, if you wanted to be in a Medicare system, you could in fact choose that. What I don't like about the alternative being offered is you get no choice. If you, in fact, want Medicare for all, you must give up any insurance policy you have if you have one. And, in fact, you have to move in the direction that they say. I think it should be a choice for the American people. I think they should have a choice to decide whether they want to keep their insurance that a lot have with strong policies with labor unions and others. But if they want to change, they should be able to choose the Medicare option, which I propose.
All right, so about to do a little fun segment or whatever, because I know you get asked the tough questions all the time. So we're going to do this segment called Getting to Know Joe.
Uh-oh.
All right, so what music does Joe Biden listen to these days?
Well, I don't have my phone with me, but we talked a little bit earlier. I like the Eagles.
Yeah.
For example.
Hotel California.
You got it. Well, more than that. I mean, the other one, I like Dionne Warwick. I still have her on my.
Really?
No, I do.
I know. And I never loved
Oh, you're
this
all right.
way
You
again.
got it, man.
So I can.
And so there's just it's a. I think I like a variety. I like a variety of music, and so for me it goes all the way from dealing with folks like Celine Dion, who's not doing much right now. She's starting back in a big way, all the way to listen to some hip hop artists. But
absolutely.
And by the way,
who pump you up before you go on stage? Like everybody have that one song before you go on stage, like one song you like to listen to kind of get you up and ready, fired up.
There's a bunch. One of the ones I like is that well, I shouldn't even say it probably, but what I like is that the song "You're the Best."
Right.
And I like it because it reminds me of my wife. And so I just like up tempo.
Right.
And
now, back in the day, you were actually a pretty successful car salesman. But what was your first job that you got fired from?
Well, actually, my dad ran an automobile agency. I never was a car salesman. What I used to do is just to drive. There's a big thing called the Mannheim Auto Auction. I'd go up for the dealers and bring those cars back when I was in school. And the only job I've never gotten fired from a job, because the only job I had, I was a public defender.
Right.
I left a job with a fancy law firm to become a public defender because my city was the only city occupied by the National Guard since the Civil War, after Dr. King was assassinated and a large part of it was burned down. Right. And so I left and became a public defender, but I didn't get fired from that. I left, and then I ran for office, and so I haven't been fired yet. I could get fired from the primary, I guess. I haven't been fired yet.
Now, in your free time, what are some of your favorite things to do?
Well, one of the favorite things to do, it's going to sound corny, is spend time with my granddaughters, my grandson. But what I like to do is I also like to I took up golf really late. In my neighborhood, if you golfed, you got beat up.
Right.
But when I got to be in my 49 years old, I had a couple major operations, a cranial. I had what they call embolism.
Right.
And I took the top of my head off a couple times. The WAG said the reason they went in the second time is they couldn't find a brain the first time. But anyway, what I asked the docs. I said, "What can I do while I'm healing?" They said, "You can do three things. You can ride a stationary bike, which I do. You can lift weights, which I do, and you can play golf." I said, "I've never played golf, man." And I wasn't allowed to go back to work for a while, so I'd sneak off to a golf range, and I kind of got hooked a little bit. But I haven't played in a long time.
Right. All right, so do you have a secret talent or skills that we don't know about? Secret talent or skill?
I'm not sure I should talk about it. No.
I mean, you can say anything these
days. No, I'm not. Look, I don't think I have any secret talent or skill. I think the bad news about me is no one doubts I mean what I say, but sometimes I say all I mean. It's all out there. So
right.
I don't think there's much secret about me at all.
All right. So what do you want to say to the young people that's out there that think that their vote don't count?
I tell you what.
That feel like they've been left out. What do you say to the young voters?
Well, they have been left out, number one. Number two, if young voters voted in the same percentage in 2008 in 2012 and 14 and then 18, what happened was if you voted the same percentage the rest of the population voted, there'd be 5.2 million more people under the age of 25 voting. And my message to y'all is you can own this election. You can own this election. You can impact on your future in ways I don't think you can do, but you can. And so if you vote, and by the way, look at all those races across the country where somebody lost by 2, 10, 12, 15 votes. What you don't want to do is you don't want to wake up on the day after Election Day and find out you still have Donald Trump as a president of the United States. You don't want to wake up and have some of the governors who are going after everything relating to from voting rights to women's rights. And so there's a lot of things that are at stake here. The young people, are the center of all the concerns that everybody has, whether it's education, opportunity, whether it's the opportunities you have to serve the country in ways that I don't even think people realize. Just remember what I tell my kids, that you can do anything you set your mind to. It's not hyperbole. You can do anything you set your mind to.
Look right in that camera and tell them that.
You can do anything you set your mind to. Not a joke. Not a joke. You can. And what I'm going to do, if I'm your president, is make every single opportunity to increase the prospects you have access. Because we still have systemic racism in this country. There's a lot of things we have to do to break it down. Barack and I made progress, but there's a lot more we have to do. And so get engaged. Make people, the only way they're going to pay attention to you is, in fact, you vote. That's how they'll pay attention. You can own this. You can own it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 8 years as vice president and 36 years in the United States Senate, the one and only Vice President Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't expect you to look such in good shape, man. I tell you what, man, you're making me feel bad.
Nah, man. Hey, you the one. I couldn't find this on in time.
I tell you what,
last time I wore this tie, to the White House, and I have a picture.
Well, come back. Keep it. I promise. Sir. By the way, I'm going to make a commitment.
Yeah.
You're going to hear it. If I get elected president, you'll be the first radio show I'll do.
Oh!
Thank you, man.
Yes,
I really mean it. Thanks. You're
you.
good.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming. Yes.
They from my lunch.
What? They samples. Yeah, I already knew it. I already tell her that.
Yeah, everyone, definitely.
Ah! How you doing, man?
Sorry.
Just save us.
This guy is something else, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey man, I'm sorry.
And I didn't even do nothing. I just said it. Oh my God, that made my day.
I wasn't lying. I said I'm I know you know, but I did. I wanted to do that. But I didn't. I'll check them out.
I didn't do nothing this time. I just sat here, right? I didn't do nothing.
It's all good. I don't.
Hey, look at your purse.
Oh, we gonna get your money. Oh, it's yours. We gonna you the last one. What's your name? This, give my man, Jared.
Y'all are so nice. God bless. I was totally fine with it.
This is Jared, sir.
I'm not telling any of these guys no.
Let's go ahead and get in here. Come on, Jared. Gotcha.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Oh man, I tell you, little push-ups here and there.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
It's the front page news. It's what's trending now.
All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. If you don't absolutely love what you do, make sure you go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today and become an information technology professional in as little as 4 months. That's mycomputercareer.edu. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up for former Vice President of the United States, the one and only Joe Biden.
Hey, Rickey Smiley, how you doing, man?
Hey, Vice President Joe Biden, how you feeling?
I'm doing well. I wish I was doing it in person with you. How you been?
Hey, I've been pretty good, and thank you for coming to the station, spending some time with us. Remember now, when you become president, you promised we were going to see Fleetwood Mac.
That's a promise. That's a promise.
You know, I got a few questions for you.
Sure, fire away.
COVID-19 is just hurting a lot of black and brown people, African Americans, and it seems like Trump doesn't have a plan to do anything about it. What is your plan, Mr. Vice President?
He doesn't have any plan to do about it. And the worst part we all now know is that he knew as far back as February, he went on tape with Bob Woodward acknowledging he knew how dangerous this was. He didn't say a darn thing to anybody. He didn't acknowledge it at all. He didn't, and he later said he didn't want to panic the American people. They don't panic. The only people who panicked was him. And the other thing is that I started insisting way early on, as you remember, that we keep track of who is being infected by COVID and who is dying. Because I'd spoken with the mayor of Detroit. I worked a lot of time up there helping bail them out. It's about 80% African American. I said, Joe, he said, African Americans up here, they are dying. They get it at 3 times the rate of white Americans, and they're dying at twice the rate. And it's because of a whole range of things that he was unwilling to pay any attention to. So the big fight was, first of all, keep the statistics. Make sure we know precisely who's being affected. Brown and black people are being killed because and also they live in neighborhoods, by and large, that are susceptible to everything from the air pollution. They sit they're fence-lined communities on the other side of oil refineries and chemical plants and the like. And so he's done nothing about it. And then in addition to that, what's happened is he's come along, and if you notice, he has no plan. He put forward no plan to be able to open up schools, and particularly in black and Latino communities where a mom may have a $6 an hour job, and she has to choose between taking the job and being able to stay home with their 4-year-old kid who, in fact, has no help. It's just been horrible what they've done.
Great answer. You know, the people all over this country are concerned about the long lines at the polling precincts and inconsistencies with the postal service and COVID-19 as they head to the polls this election. Now, how is the campaign addressing the barriers that folks are facing this November just to utilize their right to vote?
Well, what we did was, number one, we put together the largest voter protection program that's ever been put together. We have literally, we have well over 1,000 people on the ground. First thing I'd say, tell your folks to go to iwillvote.com to make sure they know where to vote, how they can vote, and how early they can vote. They can vote early, vote early. The people of this country are not going to be denied. They're going to be heard no matter how much Trump tries to stop them. In addition to that, what's going on is we have people who are working with a bunch of lawyers, a lot of them, making sure that state programs exist for the recruit and ensure the poll workers, enough of them are available. Also, these voter suppression programs, preventing Republicans from putting up obstacles to voting by using supposed emergency powers to intimidate voters and attack or subvert the democratic process. You saw what happened recently in Virginia. Early voting, we had people lined up for up to 4 hours trying to vote. And then there was a report of a group of Trumpers with Trump supporters with flags, waving flags, blocking the sidewalk or blocking the way for people to get to vote. And the local Republican leader said, well, they just don't have any sense of humor. Sense of humor, that intimidation, they should be arrested for doing that.
Absolutely.
It's just wrong. What we have to do is make sure that we are doing everything possible, working with the secretaries in the states that control the voting and making sure there are places available. For example, a lot of the NBA stadiums are being opened up so you can have large venues where people can be socially distanced. A whole lot of people can vote at the same time, and they can get in and be distanced and vote as quickly as you can. But it will be counted. We're going to make sure every damn vote is counted.
Absolutely. Now, Trump announced his Supreme Court pick will likely be named on Friday or Saturday, and that is down to 4 or 5 people. What is your reaction, and do you think that's appropriate considering the fact, they didn't think that it was good enough for you and the Obama administration to have a Supreme Court nominee? How do you feel about the hypocrisy of that?
Well, first of all, it's incredible hypocrisy. That quote from Lindsey Graham saying at the time, I don't think there should be any voting in the election year. And by the way, you can remind me of this and say I didn't tell the truth if, in fact, I changed my mind. Well, he changed his mind. I'm still hoping there are 2 people who have the courage to do something. Murkowski, the senator from Alaska, and Senator Collins from Maine have both said they don't think a vote should take place. And one of the things the Constitution calls for in terms of the whole idea of the Supreme Court is the American people get to have a say in what kind of person should be on the court in the following way. That they, in fact, get to vote for a president. The reason the president gets to nominate, not to make sure they pass, to nominate is because he represents the whole country, and the rationale of the founders was he should be reflecting the views of what the country thinks, number one. Number 2, then the Senate is the one who can decide whether or not they should be appointed or not appointed. So it's, one can propose, the president, the other dispose. And the whole idea is that the election is supposed to give the people the one chance to have an impact. Right. We're in the midst of an election. Right now, election has already started, early voting. By the time this president moves forward and actually gets and breaking the rules, watching McConnell change the rules and has a vote, you'll have up to 40% of the people will have already voted in America. Already voted.
Right. Right.
And so this is just not right. It's totally inconsistent, and it's not legal. It's technically you can do it. There's no legal prohibition, but it's totally inconsistent with an accurate reading of the Constitution. I'm not giving up hope. I still think the chance 2 more Republicans will have the nerve to say no.
And black businesses have really been hit hard during the pandemic. Even before the pandemic, many black businesses were struggling. And I hear this week is Small Business Week. So I would love to know a little bit about how, what is your plan to help small businesses and how it would be different for folks under a Biden-Harris administration.
Well, first of all, I've been talking about this now, as you probably know, for the better part of 4 months. Here's the deal. Right now, more than 400,000 small businesses have collapsed in the wake of this tragic mismanagement of the current situation. 75% of small businesses have been negatively impacted by the crisis. Over half of small businesses say that it'll take them more than 6 months to recover, if they can recover at all. 1 in 6 black businesses have closed. People say, well, it's a tough environment. Guess what? It's in spite of the fact that the House of Representatives passed what they call the CARES Act, which provided for $2 trillion to help keep businesses afloat. But guess what happened? 60% of the money that was supposed to go to small businesses went to big businesses and corporations. You hear United Airlines is being bailed out in billions of dollars, but small businesses aren't getting the aid. I have an answer how we can deal with some of this. There's a thing called a person called an inspector general, supposed to watch where every one of these dollars go. What is the first thing Trump did? Fired the inspector general. Fired him. That's not a joke. Fired him. So, Number one, there's a lot of collusion going on here. That's totally wrong. And if I'm president, I'm going to appoint an inspector general to go back and follow every penny of that money and make those who, in fact, got it and shouldn't have paid back, and those who got it illegally be held accountable. But in addition to that, what I'm going to set up at the White House is Navigators. One of the things we found out is if you are a minority business, or any business for that matter, if it's small, you have a great idea. You don't have not only the resources to start, but even if you have the money, you don't have access to the accountants. So I had a friend who used to say, Joe, you got to know how to know. You can go to the Library of Congress, one of the great libraries in the world. If you don't know how to access the card catalog, it's of no value to you. So we're going to provide the guidance to small business people or entrepreneurs as to how they get not their idea, but how they get the mechanical things that are necessary. What loan process do they have to go through? Who's the accountant? How do they make their presentation? What do they do in terms of that whole, and it's gigantic help when it occurs.
Real quick, this is a fun for free question. You at home Saturday night with your wife, Jill. Who are you listening to, Jodeci or the Isley Brothers?
Me, the Isley Brothers. That dates me a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vice President, Democratic nominee, future President of the United States, Joe Biden, ladies and gentlemen. All right, y'all, for more information, if you need to vote with confidence, make sure you make your vote count. Register to vote today at newsone.com. Newsone.com/vote. That's newsone.com/vote. 25 before the top of the hour, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show.